So Joe, Jagger, and I, we, between Wednesday and Sunday of last week, took a few days off to just kind of road trip to somewhere in Horsey, Virginia. So love that the little Horsey quilted barn coat coming up from Joan Rivers new. And while we were there, lounging by the pool, I, of course, was on my phone checking in on work. I really need to get a life. And while I was checking in on work on QVC.com, what did I find but this? And I fell in love. Now, backstory, one of the biggest trends happening for Go Forward Fall is this category called pillowy pieces. Puffer jackets, puffer vests, puffer is so happening that now there are puffer shoes, which I think is super clever. Welcome to the leading cool factor bag in puffer handbags, totes, and crossbodies. This is a brand called Think Royln. When they debuted here in, I think, earlier this year, it might have been January, could have been February, sold out in their first item on air, 7 minutes. Today, we debuted their first ever pick a large or a small, big deal. Now, actually, let me rewind. We didn't actually today debut it. It was on Friday. Friday at noon, these launched. Already certain colors are limited. This tiny guy, which is not so tiny, this one is called the small. She weighs a half a pound and is only $89, but retails for $168. Even the handles are puffer, which they've never done before, zipper closure for security, and then of course the webbing strap, which you can 1000% take off and interchange with other straps, because that's the kind of part of the cool factor too with their brand. This webbing strap done in kind of like the stripey do, totally adjustable, but you take it off and now you're carrying it like a little tote or a big tote, because the other choice is only about a pound and it's called the large. And though it is only since Friday, quantity is limited, only order of the year, $124, it's actually a retailer for $218. One order of the year, choose your small or large. I'm gonna take you through those choices, and then we're gonna see the 50% of the 100%, meaning the gal that with her best friend started the brand. Here we go. I'm gonna start you here. Up top with the, hold on, don't fall, buddy. Hold on, buddy, don't fall. I'm gonna start you up top with the black. So quintessential urban New York, and we only have 130 in the large size, all of them ship for free, and 400 in the small. May I please beg you to not miss this big deal and this first of a kind big deal, because the savings is so huge and the holidays are so coming, and these are major cool. Like, I just got my first Think Royln bag in the mail a couple days ago, and now I can't stop buying them. Okay, this right here in a big or a baby is what we call our cheetah camo. 350 in the large, 500 in the smaller. Down second row, python neutral. There is, of course, the big, but only have 140 of those, and the baby, which is not so baby, weighs only half a pound though, 200 in the small. This is all done in kind of a puffed nylon silhouette. I am gonna say some of the colors have a little metallic shimmer. How, oopsie daisy, gorgeous is this right here? We call it our pearl. Stand by, peacock, thank you. That gorgeous teal, 120 in the large, and then 250 in the small. Then I move you down to this row. This is the one that we call tie-dye black. Please pay attention to the hardware, because it's also super chic, gunmetal, solid, custom, 120 in the large, and then 250 in the small. Okay, it's really hard to pick a favorite, but I think my favorites in this one are the black, the pearl peacock, and the pearl champagne is ridiculous. 6 dozen large, 200 in small. And then, speaking of small, this little guy down here is all alone. Just sweet and lonely, and where is its mama? she's sold out. That's how it has gone since Friday when this big deal launched. By the way, 100 in the pearl gray. So this one that I'm holding you crossbody is the 100 in the pearl gray. And I'm gonna take you over here because our guest, Patty Friedman, is gonna want, with my help, to take a tour of these. Hang on, standing here so you can see mine. Patty, I'm gonna start calling you Puffer Patty. And of course, I feel
love it.
I got to come up with a nickname for Kristen, your friend, who together you guys went to FIT and were like the cool chicks in the city, but then created this brand that I just think is wild clever. I don't know if I told you yet, but that messenger crossbody that I think we presented together, or maybe we didn't, but it was one of the other brand news recently. I just got it home in the copper color, and I'm just so obsessed. So please tell everybody, first of all, this is called either the Les Marche or Les Petites Marches. What is the inspiration?
So Kristen and I, along with our friends, one day were like, you know what, we really need to reinvent that wonderful market tote. You would always see the super chic women around the world, whether it be Paris, New York, Italy, that they would take to the market, they would take out with their items and items they could add to it throughout the day. And that's really where the bag started from. And, you know, if you could take the bag and look at it at 180, you have this nice big front with all your beautiful crisscross, but then you also have a nice depth here on the side. So you can really fill this bag up. And like you said, if we take a look inside, oh my gosh, those look fantastic on them.
Okay, stand by. I'm gonna do the tour with you, but I'm gonna do it on a color where I think it might be slightly easier to see the details, because one cool thing, Patty, on the quilting that you did is you did it going different directions. Sorry, I gotta remove the bubble wrap, so bear with me. But the cool thing in the quilting is that it moves in different directions, so it's almost like
You're right.
patchwork quilting, if you get my drift.
You know what? You absolutely said it correctly. So you have our horizontal quilting on the side that everyone's used to seeing, but then we took the front and we took it in different directions. See, that's so nice. And you can also see in the bag, you get that nice depth of a tote, and you have these wonderful crisscross. And what I do love about that is you mentioned all of our bags with the shine, which we refer to as our pearlize, which is just a nice kiss of shine. And when you do this crisscross, it really captures the light so beautifully. And you know what? When you go inside a certain bag, so that pearl peacock bag has a black lining to contrast. Some of our bags, like the black and the black tie-dye, like the one I have here, they have a hot pink lining. So we always try to contrast the lining or complement it so you can also see well. So look at that. Yep. You know what you called it? You called it the pillow bag the other day. My son was in the back seat of the car. He was like, "Mom, can I have your bag? I want to take a nap."
Oh, it is a pillow bag, but it's very cool. Like, I grew up with Le Sport Sac and going into the stores where, like, they would have the motorized hooks that would carry all the bags around the store.
I remember that.
And they were made out of, like, parachute material. And so this concept of a new way to interpret an old thing, I think, is very cool. But this is very couture. Like, I can see wearing this with a Jimmy Choo moon boot for fall, winter. Obviously lightweight, so really it packs a punch purely on what you put in it. This weighs about a pound. The other smaller guy weighs about a half pound. And here's your update on colors, because the small Pro Gray that I'm wearing, last call, 2 dozen remaining. These will ship the 23rd of this month, and when they do, they'll ship for free, but you will only get this crazy price, $89 for something that should be $168, as a big deal. The big one in the Pro Gray is gone. Then I'm just gonna take you over here. Black tie-dye comes in the big or the small. 100 in the big, which should be $218, $250 in the small, which should be $168. I love the pearl champagne. Fewer than 2 dozen in the large, $150 in the small. Great as a tote bag, as a work bag, as a brief bag. I'm obsessed with pearl peacock. It is just so Manhattan. 6 dozen in the large, $250 in the small. This is our python, so it's not a pearlized, it's more of a flat mat, $125 in the large, $200 in the small. I mean, my gosh, your work bag will have your shoes, your gym stuff, all of your diaper gear. I mean, there's no end to what you can put in this. Shiny black, 4 dozen large, $350 small. And then we talked about the python. So let's talk about what we call our cheetah. This is the small cheetah camo. We have about 550 in the small, and then 350 in the large. Patty, it's really a sin that we didn't have you for twice as long tonight, because almost 3,000 ordered at this big deal price. And I think this is the coolest concept for a brand.
Oh, thank you, Sean. I love your support.
Anyway, I'm praying that we see you very soon.
Oh, you will.
Okay, so it's a night of big deals, which is in and of itself a really big deal. What does that mean? Well, big deals, much like today's special values, they